Okay, let's see if we go live this time. And it's still not showing up on my phone. Are you showing live?
No, it says live 17 seconds.
This is the weirdest thing.
Said it started 13 seconds ago. 3 watching.
Hey everyone, let us know if you could see us and hear us.
Yes, you are live.
We are?
Well,
okay,
that's
good.
what Lisa's saying. Yeah.
All right, it's not showing up on my phone. I don't know what that's about, but that's okay. As long as you all, oh, I know why, because I'm on, guys, it's been one of those tech things today that's been challenging.
Got it.
You got it? Okay, good. Hey, everyone. Sorry about that. Thank you for being here with us. We were having a little bit of tech issues, and I'm not sure if my internet is straight. I've been having some internet issues as well. My photo not coming in clear. I don't know what's going on today, but it's all good. I'm excited because I have Danny here. Thank you for your patience, Danny.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank everybody for their patience and in the chat. Yay.
Yes. I appreciate you all. Let's see who we have here. I see Lisa Foster and Sherry. Hello, hello. Janet P. and Terry and Kathy G. Arlene. Thank you all. Shay Kitty, good to see you. Happy to see you.
Related to me? That's what I want to know. Is
Shay Kitty related to you?
I know. I'm asking.
Oh,
she's got
well.
the same. Her first name is my last name. So how?
Now the question is, do you have a cat?
I'm allergic to cats.
Oh.
And but my wife she's been talking about cats a lot lately. So my eyes are watering just thinking it. Just saying my eyes are watering.
See, I was going to say, if you had a cat, then that would be your Shay Kitty, right?
That's right.
Thank you for everyone who's just now joining. Hit that thumbs up as you're coming in. I have Danny Shay here, Bathrobe Tarot. I'm excited to have him. We were talking about that. We've seen each other kind of on the screen, and but we haven't had the chance to interact together.
No.
So I'm excited to have him on. We're going to talk about healing today. And one of the first questions I really want to ask you, Danny, is about your spiritual journey. When did you feel that you had your spiritual awakening, and then what unfolded from there?
Yeah, it's, and I've been thinking about that more and more recently. Ever since I was, a little kid, I mean, for as long as I can remember, I had imaginary friends, and I had a couple of them, and they were just with me all the time. And I was talking to my wife about it. She goes, well, I never had any. And I thought that was like really bizarre. But that went away. I grew up in a very strict Catholic household. And so that got shoved aside in that religious thing. But in about 86, I was introduced to metaphysics and the spirituality that I'm enjoying and experiencing today. I shut that, even though I cracked it open, I kind of shut that door and I didn't really get into it. But it was, I would dabble in it a little bit, but it was when I found myself dealing with a family member's illness, and it got really ugly. And I'm like, how did I get here? How do I get out of here? How do I get out of this negative space? And I found myself leaving work early and going home and meditating, just listening to podcasts of positive things
Yes.
and being thankful for the littlest thing, like my own pillow. Nothing political, but I remember going, I'm so glad I just have my own pillow to lay my head on. It was so comforting. And from that little comfort, I got more and more comforts coming into me. And then I think that was it. And that was probably in 2019, I think, 18, 16, somewhere in there. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then it's been when I left my full-time job, and it gave me more time to be quiet with myself, that's when things really started kicking in.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that I think that's the biggest challenge, right, for a lot of us that are on our spiritual path, and finding that time, that space to be able to connect with spirit, especially if you're in a life where things are just coming at you left and right, and you're just like boom, 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 boom. And I completely understand. That's why I was like, okay, I have to slow things down so I can really make this connection in doing the spiritual work that I would choose to do.
And it's so hard because, as you know, I don't know you very well. You don't know me very well, but I can sense that you're a very responsible person. You take your responsibilities very seriously. So when the outside world says this is what your responsibilities are, but your inner guidance says you have different responsibilities that have nothing to do with the 3D responsibilities, I think we get really confused as to who, what to listen to, So yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
It definitely is. With the time that you have, what are some of the things that you like to do for your own personal healing and spiritual growth?
This YouTube community has been a godsend. I think the quiet time that COVID gave us opened so many people up and gave them the time to, now we don't have to drive to go to work. So now we have, depending on where you live, a half hour to an hour and a half, 2 hours that you spend driving to work. We now have that available to us to have our quiet meditation time. So that was really key. And this community is key. There's so many online classes and spiritual paths that we can connect with. For me, I connected with shamanism pretty early on, and it's a path of direct revelation through a meditative process where you actually journey in your mind's eye using your imagination and your creative flow to go talk to spirit guides, helping angels, your power animals. And what I find so fascinating with this community is before the internet, before this, we would have to go to our shamanic leader, our medicine man, our priest, our guru, whatever, and that person would then impart their knowledge and spiritual guidance to us at a rate that was kind of like a drip system. But with the internet opening up, we can get all sorts of information flying at us so fast as well as what I call the veil being thinner, that we are allowed to access more information. So I just started looking online and getting connected with shamanic practitioners and teachers so that I could grow. I mean, obviously, I want the real person in front of me. I think that would be huge, and that will come. But right now, it's me and my thoughts and the YouTube community.
Yes, no, and for anybody that has the ability or opportunity to work with a shaman, the work or the what's presented is really powerful. And I've worked with people that that a lot of people don't like to call themselves, some don't like to call themselves shamans and just consider themselves as a facilitator, but I look at them as shamans. And it's just really powerful in the journeys. I actually did take a shamanic class as well. And so this is for anyone. If you haven't taken a shamanic class, I was just it doesn't mean you have to become a shaman or be on that path, but it is extremely informative. And you recently had a class as well, right? That you had like a journeying class, was it?
Yeah. And so I hear what you said with the shaman thing, because people are calling me a shaman. I go, no. That is for somebody, in my point of view, that's somebody who has spent their whole life learning this and devoting themselves to this. So I've spent the last few years on this path. Shamans are so powerful in what they do. The true shamans, I don't even want to say that, but I did. But anyway, I don't feel that is something that I can call myself. However, to your point, we can still do healing. We can still do the journeying and get in touch with spirit through the shamanic paths. And it's all pretty much the same. The shamans use different tools like a rattle and a drum to get us into that altered state. And but yeah, and I find that those shamanic journeys that we take are fascinating. And so many people in the different groups, different people on the same journey will have the same experience. It's eye-opening.
It really is.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify something here. So Genealogy Junkie, what happened is that we had another live stream and that wasn't working. I don't know what was going on. So we had to ditch that one. I created this one, but in my haste, I didn't even look at the date. I just threw in the time and put it up there. So that's why it's probably saying August 11th. So I'll have to go back and correct that. But long as we're live, you can see us and hear us. We're good to go.
Yeah.
All right. And welcome to anybody else who has just recently joined. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Super excited to have Danny Shay here with us. And overall, we're going to talk about healing and different aspects of it, different tools and things that you would use or suggest, Danny, for the people in healing. And let's start with, what does healing mean to you?
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, that's it. That's an easy one.
That's a fully loaded question. I know it is. Let's just try to break it down in little pieces.
Where do I go with this? For a one sentence, what does healing mean to me is to find happiness. Once we can find happiness in love, then truly we're on the path of healing. If we're not happy, then we're going to bring some negative stuff to us. If we're not in love, we're going to bring some negative stuff to us. So turning that around in its simplistic form is I think healing.
Yes. And I would love to hear from the chat too, in your opinion, what does healing mean to you? I think, because it means a lot of different things to different people.
Yeah.
And people look at, and it's like I said, it's like that's a big umbrella, right? And we're trying to break it down a little bit. I think for me, it's about, when you're working on healing your mind, your body, and your spirit, and being in that alignment, that is what's going to help you step forward to be that beautiful, confident, and the strongest version of yourself possible, stepping into your power. But you got to take care of all three.
All three.
And when one is out of alignment, right, you still feel kind of off, you feel a little funky. So it's about paying attention and taking care of that at the best that you can, because some of us may have some limitations in one area than the other. Some of us have experienced stuff from our past that has really wounded us. So you got to kind of work on that first before you can really step into that alignment. And there's so many different ways to look at it, right?
Yeah, yeah. And that the past thing, that is, boy, that's just, we hold on to the past so hard. And, that's why we're in this strange, difficult time that we're in now. So many people want to desperately hold on to the past, and they don't want to step forward into the future because it's scary. So it's like, well, what if we lose all of the things that we grew up with? When you were asking about what does healing mean to you, I was reminded of my mom, who she's with me a lot in spirit. She's with me a lot. And she keeps smacking me.
Oh yeah, she's like, you're not gonna get rid of me that easily.
Yeah, maybe smacking me when I start talking about this now. But she, I flash back on what healing meant to her. And what healing meant to her when I was growing up was take a pill. Let's go see what the doctor says. Let's have the doctor fix you. And that, to me, is the opposite of what we need right now. If we can't heal ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, but if we're in a physical ailment, and we didn't do the work before to keep us from getting so sick, then we need to go to the doctor. Then we need that Western medicine. But there's steps that we can take before it gets that bad, I feel, that will really benefit us in the long run. Because how many things can you get cut out of your body? That's got to stop, right? Yeah. So
it's going to have its toll for sure.
Yeah. And that's just, that's just my opinion. There's thousands of other stories that would tell me, that they would say I'm wrong, and that's okay for their story. It's whatever story you're in right now.
Yeah. Well, here's the beauty, right? And I know that you know this, that everyone, like, we're the creators of our own story. So it's up to you whether you want to keep reliving that same story that may not be serving you versus stepping into one that will. And something about the past. I remember having this conversation with my daughter because she suffers from anxiety. And I remember we were talking, and I said to her, if I drew you this line and you can cross over and there's green pastures and there's abundance and you can just step over that and claim it, would you? And she said, no. And I said, why not? And she said, because this is what I know over here. And it's like, despite all the spiraling and everything else that she deals with, it's what she knows.
Yeah.
And to be able to step over that, it's like, it's anxiety thinking about that, because it's like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that feels like, but I do with this. And I think that's kind of a struggle for a lot of people, and not knowing it. Just, they're just like, I don't know if I want to take that step.
So, and it's so prevalent right now, because as we go to a higher density, the 4D, the 5D, as we shift from this 3D place to a higher level of consciousness, density, dimension, there are so many different ways to say that. You're stepping into the unknown. But if you could love everybody, right? What does that look like? Oh, well, I can't love that guy because he hurt me. Well, step into that. You know, it's unknown. Well, no, if I do that, then he's going to be able to take advantage of me, or, you know, something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's this stepping into the unknown. And I feel like that is where we are right now. We're like the fool in the tarot card, where we're stepping off that cliff. But don't worry, we have our trusty dog to be with us, so it's all good.
Yes,
it's all good. And
love
that's
that.
where tarot readings and, you know, and past live readings come in, because sometimes we're afraid of something, and we're not really sure why we're afraid of it. Why are we afraid of our own power? And I had a past life reading with Nancy Jean, and I don't know how she came up with this, but she goes, "You were in China, and you were one of the medicine people in China, and you started telling the wrong people the truth, and they cut your head off. So now you're a little cautious on being one of those people."
Yeah, I think so.
Really? And I go, and how did you get this? You know, I'm not sure. However, you know, other readers had said something not similar, but kind of like, you know, confirmed it a little bit. So I go, oh, well, I wonder if there is anything with that. So I do I work on this, stepping into my power as, you know, and going back into shamanism. There are power animals that we can walk side by side with and share their energy. And so in the south direction, my power animal in the south is the jaguar. And when I imagine myself walking side by side in the night with the jaguar, allowing me to absorb some of his confidence and power, walking through the darkness, being able to see, not taking any more than what I need, and just walking softly and gently. I mean, I get elevated with that.
Yes, I can actually feel that, because one of my spirit animals is the panther. So, and I've had some experiences, and yes, so connecting to your spirit animal is truly healing, and that's a good one. I like that. Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to fill space. Go.
Oh, no. Before I forgot, I did want to share what healing meant to a couple of people here. Serena Mama Bear says, I feel like letting go of your ego and forgiving, but I'm also working a work in progress. Honey, we're all a work in progress. That the growth, the healing, everything, it never ends. It's something that continues. Yeah.
And that letting go of your ego. In shamanism, one of the first books I read was about Frank Fool's Crow, the power and the wisdom of the great medicine man from the Lakota Sioux tribe. And the first thing that I saw in there was about becoming a hollow bone, which is letting go of your ego so that you can be filled in with the spirit. And it's hard. It's hard to do that. Let go of your
Well,
ego.
that's one of the things. If you don't know about me, I'm a avid, I'm a person that into plant medicine. So I have done many, many ayahuasca ceremonies, and that's one of the reasons I love, because it does help to remove that ego and help you to get all the messages, the information. It's a very informative plant, and all the information that it provides. I just love the experience and and what I walk away from that. Each time, each lesson, it's always something different, and very powerful. Very powerful.
And I've never done that, and I'm not sure that I'm ready for it. When I was in my younger days, I had a substance abuse problem, so I certainly wouldn't. I'm glad that I got rid of that. And I fall real easy to that addictive thing, and not that you can find ayahuasca on any street corner.
No, right, exactly. Well, it also is a plant for healing addictions. My brother also has been in ceremony. He's actually now a psilocybin facilitator, and he's now been probably over 20 years now sober from alcohol, substance abuse. And so for him it was very healing. And but everyone's different, and as they always say, the medicine will call you. It's not about you forcing yourself to go to it.
I love
it
that.
will call you. So and for anybody that's contemplated thinking like, I don't know, don't worry about it. It'll happen if it's supposed to.
And it's not that I'm opposed to it. It's just that it hasn't called me yet. I'll leave it like that. I think that there are fabulous treatments for depression that I've read using the microdosing of the psilocybin.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get my wife to take that. Here, she goes, I'm not depressed. It's just you. And I go, oh, come on now.
Oh, I love her already. That's hysterical. Here's the other comment from Heather. Heather says, accepting and loving oneself and having gratitude. Gratitude is very healing, isn't it? Just like you were talking about your pillow, something so simple, but so, beautiful in that moment that you're experiencing.
Yeah. And it's we get so busy in our day-to-day lives that we forget to, thank the sun for showing up every day, and thank the sun for going down. So now you can rest a little bit, we just forget. And so I do try to, I'm pretty good about the thanking the sun for rising. I'm really bad about thanking it for going away. I'm bad about closing down sacred space. So it's like when I'll open up sacred space so that I can do my meditations and allow my guides to come in. But I guess I like to have them around a lot.
Like, hey, come on, guys, let's go hang out.
But it's hugely important. I mean, when I do a private reading, I'm good about closing the space down. But for just me, I just leave it open all day, and I go, oh, come on.
Aspie says, I find my ET contact sessions very healing. Think they are what is getting me through these dreadful years on this planet, in this country, with this species. There you go.
Yeah, and that is boy, she just opened up a whole a whole Pandora's box right there. Because I am into the ETs recently, and just opening up my awareness to that. And it's, you know, it's challenging and fascinating, all of the possibilities that are out there. And it's that thing that I talked about before, stepping through the portal and going into the unknown. It's like a little scary, but once you do and once you accept it, it feels like, yeah, and there's a lot of comfort out there in the ETs. Some people call them angels too. I mean, they got their little spaceship helmets over their head, and all the ET drawings I see, they always have that glowing gold thing around their heads. I'm thinking that's a space helmet.
Could be. Could be. You never know.
You never know. And I'm joking a little bit, but there are people that say, yeah, you know, and you look back at all the Hopi and the hieroglyphics, and they all have ETs, and not all, but there are numerous ET hieroglyphics out there. So that's something too.
Yeah.
Just opening up to that.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's about being opening and willing and wanting to receive. Because I remember my first encounter that I had that felt extraterrestrial is I was just laying in bed. I looked up and I just see kind of like this face glowing, you know, like eyes. I could barely see the eyes and the mouth, and it's glowing, looking at me. And I totally wigged out at that point because it was kind of like the beginning of things. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. And I kind of like energetically pushed it away. And a few days later, Debbie, Freebird Spirit, was just doing a live, and she's like, Sonia, I have a message for you. And I'm like, what? Because at that time I was getting regular readings through Debbie. Yeah. And so she hit me up later, and come to find out, it was kind of like this extra, this kind of like ET, this being that gave her a message. And then I told her what had happened a couple of days ago, that, you know, I was like, and I felt bad afterwards. I was like, man, you know, I wish I hadn't done that. But it was like, you know, startling. I hadn't even gone to sleep yet, so I knew I wasn't dreaming.
You know,
yeah, that was new.
Yeah, yeah. And getting back to the healing part of it is allowing and asking for that healing and accepting it. That is huge. Just like being aware of making contact with your galactic family, you have to ask for it, bring it in, and allow it to come in. And it feels like, when I just said that, it feels like becoming a hollow bone, letting go of your ego and your fears and all that, and allowing that. And I just want to add, but making sure that you have your light protection around you, so that you're not allowing anything in that you don't want in, that is not of love and light. Because it can't, nothing evil, bad can penetrate the love and the light. So it's, you know, but.
And it's all about what you're seeking too, right? You know, when you tap into those lower vibrations and coming from that place, that's the energy that, you know, if you're looking for, you can find anything that you're looking for. So yes, you want to just align yourself with the light and wanting to bring that in. But as you're saying, you want to be open to that and willing to receive what comes in for you. Yeah. And not push it away if you get.
Especially when it's staring up over you and you're like, whoa, yeah. No, and I've done that, you know, I've done that a couple times where you just go, oh, that scared me. And it's just like, I was, I had this thing, I mean, we all have stories, but I had an experience that did really scare me. And I was like, oh no, that's too big. And when I went up to Mount Shasta, I was talking with Dr. Gale. She had moved up there. She's a starseed healer. she regularly talks to ETs, and I'm like, you know, she may be crazy, and she admits that she may be too, but I don't think she is. But after I got done, you know, seeing her for the very first time, and face to face, and I get back into my van, and the radio station that I had on was PBS. When I got into the van, the radio station was this garbled, guttural radio. I don't know what the language was, and it could be scary. And I went, "Ooh, is this scary?" And I tapped in. I went, "It's not scary at all. This is not. This is just a contact." And Mount Shasta is extremely contacty. It's energetic, and I went, "That is just." And by the time I hit record on my phone, but I'm like, because I'm in another space listening to this, and I got to record this. It shut off.
Wow.
How
cool is that?
But the thing was, you know, I go, "Is this scary?" No. And so I just allowed it. And it was kind of like a frequency shift. I'm like, I was getting a lot of frequency shifts up there when I was up there. From nature beings, bees, birds, just a lot of different frequency shifts just by allowing that to come in. And I think it does help heal. Certainly anything nature does.
Nature's so healing. Absolutely. Yeah. I know being in the city, it's a little challenging, but not too much. I do have a canyon that's not too far, and it's just it's so crowded. And some days I just want, you know, to have that peace in nature, connected in that way. But for anyone that can get out to nature, that would be great. Oh, Katie says, I grew up near Mount Shasta. Lovely, Katie.
Yeah.
Very nice. And I forgot to mention a little earlier, if anyone has any questions for Danny, that would be great. Go ahead and put it in the chat, or just general questions about healing, as that we're talking about today, about the power of healing. And I mean, this is such a big topic. It's not something that you can like fully cover, but you know, we're just tapping on different little parts of it.
And there's so many great sites now that are doing healing right now. You know, Linda G has her healing session, and there's just, not to name drop, but there's just so many that are going out there. And one of the things that I heard when I was in Mount Shasta was there are so many voices coming online for so many ears to listen to, and you don't have to listen to all of them. Just find the one that resonates with you, and that's the message that you get. So for every voice, there's an ear that likes to hear what that person says.
It's like that frequency thing, right? The different frequency that's coming in. Some people may hear one thing, but another person hears another thing. Just it all depends on what they're attuned into. So
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I just had a friend that came down from the mountain, did a vision quest, and it was for 4 nights and 4 days. So we've been talking more about it. It's only done once a year, and I'm contemplating doing it. But there's no food or water. What's that?
What mountain?
It's in, I don't know the name of the mountain, but it's in New Mexico.
Okay.
It's in New Mexico. So we'll see. Stay tuned for that one. I'm not sure. That's pretty hardcore. It's pretty hardcore, but I can only imagine. I mean, some of the things she shared, she's actually coming over this weekend so I can get the full story. I've only gotten bits and pieces of her experiences. and for you just to be there with yourself and no one else, no food or water, and to have that connection with your guides, relying on your body to just what the body goes through during that time, right?
Right.
And I'm sure when you come out through the other end, that gratitude of the fact that we do get food, we do get water, because there's so many people on this planet who do not.
Right.
So I'm sure that has totally put her on a completely different level of understanding and of gratitude. I can't wait. I can't wait to get all the details from her.
Yeah. And the thing, I don't know if I could do that either. No, no food and water. I mean, I know I could. I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to commit to, and I don't even know if commitment's the right word. It's sign up for it, because you're never going to be ready for what she just experienced. Right. I bet you. Were you ready for that? She'll probably go, "Oh, hell no."
Oh no, she wasn't ready. No, she wasn't ready.
But I would love to do. My younger brother does, these retreats of just total silence. I would like to do like a cleansing diet, just by myself for 2 to 4 days. Nothing big. But still being able to eat, but just not have anybody around except me and all the voices in my head.
Yes.
Because we get moments, and then they get interrupted, and then we get other clarity, and then that gets interrupted. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah, no, it really would. I remember I did once this really interesting meditation. It was a quiet meditation, but it was only for an hour. And for someone that's like, oh gosh, there's no way I can go a few days, or just try an hour. And it's like and what I did was, I have like this big window, right? So I opened up the blinds because I have all the trees and everything. And I sat there for an hour with a cup of tea and just watched the nature, the trees, whatever what was going on down below. It's a different way. It's a different type of meditation. And I think, when people think meditation, that you have to keep quiet and, well, yes, keep quiet, but they feel like that's upon hours and hours of doing this meditation. Your eyes have to be closed, and there's all sorts of meditations, and it's about you exploring and feeling into what feels just right for you, what feels right to your spirit, and go with that. There is no right or wrong. I like people that are just, when they say, oh, I was told I need to do this and I need to do that. And it's like, well, does that feel right for you? That's more the question.
Exactly. Yeah, there is no right or wrong. Oh man, I wish I would have known that, because I thought I've been doing it right. I might have been doing it all wrong now. No. And the other thing too, when you're talking about experiment with different modalities of meditation. In the shaman journey, you're moving. You're not closing your eyes. You're not sitting. You're drumming or rattling or dancing or singing. You're moving. So just experiment with. Try different things and see which works to you, which feels really good for you.
Yeah. What's your favorite form of meditation? What do you enjoy doing?
I like the shamanic journey a lot. And I also like automatic writing, which is my form of meditation, quiet time. Although it's not real quiet, because it's pretty loud. When I'm doing that automatic writing, it's like, it's loud. And they go, wow. Can you write faster? Can you?
You're like, here, let me just give you a tape recorder. Just say what you want in here.
And I've done that on the tape recorder, and they always tell me to go back to writing, because they go, you never transcribe it. If you would transcribe it, that would be good, but you never do. So don't use the tape recorder. They're very particular. These little voices in my head. Yeah.
Connie says, Danny, you should come out to Bull Canyon in New Mexico.
Okay. Oh, did I say that too fast?
Yeah.
That is on my list, and I keep. I was hoping to do Chaco Canyon. I want to go to. I'm just drawn to go to Chaco Canyon, and so I'll stop by Bull Canyon.
There you go.
Sure.
There you go. Yeah. I know I've been wanting to go to New Mexico and check it out. So, well, look, Connie said perfect. She'll meet you there. So,
okay,
whenever you're ready.
Awesome. You know what? We need to maybe get a magic bus.
Yeah. Oh, right. I love that.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions about healing or about their own personal healing journeys that you might be stuck on or have a question about? Go ahead and put that in the chat. Let's see if we can answer that for you. Connie says Chaco is about 2 hours from Asay. Oh, maybe I think that was for somebody. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is, if you were to share some information with someone, let's talk about the shamanic journey. Where's a good place for them to start? If they wanted to find out how they can possibly heal through shamanic journeying or just curious about it, what is your kind of go-to on that? Well,
my go-to is the Shift Network and Sandra Ingerman. She has a YouTube channel called The Shaman's Cave, and most of the time on there, she does some form of light journeying, and she does journey classes. And my class was based off of her shamanic journey class. As far as I do some in my journeying, I've on some of my Sundays, I have a spiritual show on Sundays, and sometimes I'll do a journey on that where we go to a healing dome, and we walk down to this place that is this. It's a clear crystal dome made out of stars and whatever your imagination, rainbows, whatever it wants to create. And in it we go and we can get some healing. We'll plant seeds of love and hope for the planet, in the dome, for other people, for names. So there's the thing with the shamanic journey in the healing, it's not a one and done. It's kind of a life practice of going into this quiet place and just being in a place that is full of healing energy and just staying in there for a while, absorbing it like a sponge would.
Yes. Yeah. Connie is asking, I want to introduce meditation to my 7th grade student. Advice for a particular meditation site.
I don't, I mean, there are, there's so many sites on YouTube. And I saw one the other day. I'm going to try to remember what it is, and if I can, I'll email it to her. But the meditations were short, because some of these meditations get really long, and So it's just a real short meditation, like 15 minutes or 10 minutes, 7 minutes. And I
Yeah.
thought that that would be good for a 7-year-old. I mean, seventh
Yeah,
grade.
great. Yeah, it's for all her students. She has about 100. She says she has 100 students this year.
Oh,
You know, yeah, I agree with you. Like 7 minutes, somewhere around there, under
yeah.
10 minutes, because not only kids. I can't just blame kids. It's adults these days too,
Oh,
experiencing
yeah.
ADHD, right?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
the shorter and concise, I think, will help the students a lot.
And I
Um,
think, if you tailor something towards what they want to be introduced to, what do they want? I don't know. Ask them. See if there's something that they want to experience in their meditation. I don't have kids, so I don't understand how those brains work. I'm too
well,
far. I'm too far removed from it.
well, kids are funny with it because, when I was married at the time, my ex-husband and we would do meditation with our daughter all the time, and she hated it. Oh, nah, I don't want to do meditation, blah, blah, blah. So we had went down to Joshua Tree, and they had like a day of meditation. It was like a kids meditation place, which, by the way, Joshua Tree has a lot of I think it's the Vipassana. They do the silent retreats
Yeah.
there,
Is that
down there. Mhm.
I'm going to ask you a question later.
Oh, okay. And so we stick her into this meditation, and we come back because she fought us tooth and nail on that. She's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. When we came to pick her up at the end of the day, the woman runs up to us. Oh my gosh, your daughter. She was so great. She led the meditation and she knew all this stuff. And we're like, are you kidding me? Oh, okay. Well, you got the version that we don't get, but okay. So my point to you, Connie, is that they do listen. They do pay attention. Even you may some complain and be like, oh, why are we doing this? This is stupid. But you never know. You planted the seed, so it'll stick with them. It definitely will stick with them.
There's something in Joshua Tree. There's I don't know what it is, a chapel or whatever, but it's got crystal sound bells in it, and they do these cleansing meditations where they're just using these huge, giant crystal bells or crystal bowls, and it's right outside of Joshua Tree. So,
I have to look into that. That sounds
yeah.
really nice, actually, right? And that's another form of healing that we're looking at is sound. Again, back with the whole frequencies, but there's so many beautiful ways of sound healing that's out there that people can get into.
Right, right. And that's the thing that, I was talking about in Shasta that was just so, I was so aware of, because I would have these sweat bees or some people were calling them hornets. I don't know if they were hornets. I call them little sweat bees, but they would sit in front of my face and they would go, ee, ee, and they would move from like ear, and I'm going, they're like reprogramming. I'm like, they're like kicking my, changing like something in my DNA. I mean, it was weird. It was,
Wow.
I was like, okay, I'm here in Shasta to open up, to be aware and to accept. So but yes, sound is, yeah. And I'm so, because my tinnitus is off the hook so often. And, but those little bees, I didn't have any tinnitus when I was listening to them. So that was good.
Isn't that fascinating? Yeah. I like that. Wow. Well, I know we were at the hour. I know we started a little late tonight. It's been a crazy tech night, but we made it. It's all
Yeah, we
good.
did. Yeah, we
Danny,
did.
let everyone know. I know most people probably already subscribed to you, but when are you on, and when are you on next, and what's going on in your world, so everyone knows.
Oh my gosh, what's going on in my world? I'm going to be on on Adam's channel, The Astrologer, tomorrow. I think I've got Linda G scheduled for Monday. I hope. We'll see. And I should have written this down, but I can't remember now. But the one thing that we are doing that we just set up is Kim and I are doing a Galactic Foundations meditation class. So Connie, have your 7th grade class sign up for that if they want to go into space.
I mean, that just sounds super cool, right? Who wouldn't want to do that?
It's a pretty cool title, and it is a form of journeying. You know, we're it's all your own imagination, but we set up your imagination, and so we're bringing the spaceship, we're bringing the space suits, so you don't have to bring anything, just your imaginations, and it's going to be 3 days in August, 3 days in September, and yeah, it's just going to be quiet time with our ET galactic pals and see what we get.
Nice. All right. Well, there you go, everyone. And thank you, Lisa Foster, for putting Danny's link there. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And Sharon, thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Danny, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank you, everybody, for being in the chat.
All right. And I will be on this Friday morning, 8:30 a.m. For coffee chat, oracle readings for the collective. I'll see you then. Bye, everyone.
Right. Bye-bye, everybody.